All right, welcome back everybody. This is a video that covers Activity 1, Constructing Venn Diagrams Worksheet. Let's start with number 1. We're going to draw a Venn diagram to model each of the following situations. All right, number 1, it says of 1,000 men and 900 women surveyed, the following results were determined. When asked whether the individual believed he or she drank too many sodas each week, 675 men and 325 women answered that they did drink too many sodas in a week. First, I want to explain why you never want to have two ovals with both men and women, because when they overlap, what that represents is the number of people who are both men and women at the same time. And so in the context of the problems that we're doing, it's just not feasible to set it up this way, to have the men and women overlapping. All right, so a better way to set up the categories would be to have the circle on the left be those who drank too many sodas, and the circle on the right could be either men or women. It really doesn't matter. But let's just use men for this example. All right, now it says that 675 men drank too many sodas. So I know that 675 is going to go here in the middle. That represents the number of men who drank too many sodas. Now I can subtract 675 from 1,000 because there's 1,000 total men, and that's going to give me 325. And so there's going to be 325 men in this space, and that represents those men who did not drink too many sodas. Next, I place 325 women in this space because it says that there are 325 women that did drink too many sodas. So 325 women would go inside this circle. I can now subtract 325 from 900, and that would tell me how many women would be outside the circle. 900 minus 325 is 575. So 575 women are outside of the two circles. All right, that is it, and number 1 is complete. All right, number 2. At Random High School, there are 624 seniors. 67 seniors play in the band. 453 seniors are in clubs, and 168 seniors are involved in neither of these activities. All right, it makes sense to set up our two categories as those seniors who play in band and those seniors who join clubs. We can place 168 right away, because 168 seniors are involved in neither of the activities. So that means 168 are not in either one of these ovals. The next step would be to figure out what goes in the middle. And there is a formula that tells us what goes in the middle. And that formula is middle equals circle 1 plus circle 2 plus neither minus the total. So that's everybody in circle 1, which is in the band. Everybody in circle 2, that's clubs, plus neither, that's going to be the 168, minus the total. And they do give us a total of 624. All right, let's go ahead and plug in the numbers. So circle 1 is everybody in band, that's 67. Plus circle 2, that's everybody in the clubs, and that's 453. Plus neither, that's 168. And then you minus the total number of seniors, that's 624. And then we calculate that. We get 64 from the calculation, and that tells us what goes in the middle. That means there are 64 seniors who play in the band and are also involved in clubs. We can then figure out the number that goes in this space, because we know the total number of band participants is 67, and that includes 64. So subtract 67 minus 64, that leaves you with 3. So 3 would go here. That would represent the number of students playing in the band that are not in the clubs. We can also figure out what goes in this space. If we subtract 453 total members of the club minus the 64, we would get our answer. So 453 minus 64 leaves us with 389. That represents the seniors who are in clubs that are not in band. All right, all 4 areas are filled, so number 2 is finished. All right, here's number 3. Lucky Business conducted a survey of all of its employees while trying to determine how many people drink coffee. They found that out of 114 employees, 62 of whom are men, 80 people responded that they did drink coffee. They also found out that 21 females did not drink coffee. All right, we can set up our 2 categories as those who drink coffee and those who are men. We could have also said women, but I think men works easier because they told us the total number of men here, which is 62. So let's talk about what each area represents. Right in the middle would be the number of men who also drink coffee. These would be the number of men who don't drink coffee. These would be the number of women who drink coffee. And out here would be the number of women who don't drink coffee. We can place the 21 out here because it says 21 females did not drink coffee. Now we don't know how many men drank coffee, so what we need to do is use the formula to find the middle again. And that formula is middle is equal to circle 1 plus circle 2 plus neither minus the total. Circle 1 is how many that drink coffee, and that's 80. Circle 2 is how many men, that's 62. Neither is the 21 women, and the total number of employees is 114. When you add 80, 62, 21, and subtract 114, you get 49. That tells us that there's going to be 49 men in the middle. That's 49 men who also drink coffee. Now we know there are 62 men altogether, and if you subtract 49 from 62, that leaves you with 13. So the other 13 men are going to be here, and that represents the men who do not drink coffee. Now we also know that 80 people drink coffee. So if we subtract 49 from 80, that's going to leave us with 31. That tells us that there were 31 women who drink coffee, and 31 plus 49 does add up to 80. All right, we have all the spaces filled, so number 3 is done. Number 4. Finnegan surveyed students at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own an MP3 player. There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but own an MP3 player. 9 students do not own either device. Our 2 categories are going to be those who own a cell phone and those who own an MP3 player. We can actually figure out the middle right away because here it says he found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own an MP3 player. That means 57 is going to go in the middle because there are 57 students who own a cell phone and also own an MP3 player. We can conclude that 13 goes here because there are 13 students who do not own a cell phone but own an MP3 player. So that would be 13 here. We also discover that 21 will go here because there are 78 students owning a cell phone, and 78 minus the 57 would leave you with 21. Or in other words, 21 plus 57 does give you the total 78. That's how many own a cell phone. And finally, it was stated in the last sentence that 9 students do not own either device, so we know 9 will go on the outside. All right, number 4 is done. Here's number 5. Melina's cat likes to catch lizards. In 1 month, he brought the following inside: 6 gray lizards, 12 lizards that had lost their tail in an effort to escape capture, and 15 lizards that he had barely chewed. Only 1 of the lizards was gray, chewed on, and tailless. 2 were gray and tailless, but not chewed on. 2 were gray and chewed on, but not tailless. And there were a total of 24 lizards left on Melina's carpet that month, and all were in at least one of the above categories. Now, this Venn diagram is going to have 3 categories. We have one category that's gray. Those are the gray lizards. We have tailless lizards, and we have lizards that are chewed on. Now, we can find the number that goes inside the space where all 3 circles overlap, And that's from this sentence here that says, only one of the lizards was gray, chewed on, and tailless. So the number 1 is going to go here in the intersection of all 3 circles. Now the next sentence says, 2 were gray and tailless, but not chewed on. That would be in this green space here. Now the next section, it says 2 were gray and chewed on, but not tailless. That would be this blue section. 2 were gray and tailless, but not chewed on. Now in the problem, it says that there were 6 gray lizards. So all the numbers in this circle that says gray must add up to 6. We have 2 plus 1 plus 2, that makes 5. So that means we only need 1 more to go in this section. So all of these numbers add up to the 6. And so 1 would go here. All right, now the tricky part is to figure out this middle section here. What we know is that everything in the tailless circle must add up to 12. We already have 2 and 1, that makes 3. So that's going to leave us with 9, right? 3 plus 9 is 12. So what we know is that what the number that goes here and the number that goes here must add up to 9 together. Likewise, in the chewed on circle, that has to add up to 15. We already have 2 plus 1 is 3, and so 3 from 15 leaves us with 12. So we know that the number that goes here in the middle plus the number that goes here must add up to 12. And so we can calculate this middle section here by doing the following. We can say that 1, that's this 1 here, plus this 2, plus this 1, plus this 2, plus this 9, and then plus this 12, and then plus however many is on the outside, which happens to be 0, so plus 0, and then subtract the total from that. And it says right here that there were 24 lizards, so we're going to minus 24. All right, what does all of that equal? So if you add 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 12 plus 0 minus 24, you end up with 3. All right, so let's erase the 9 and the 12. We know now that this is going to be 3. And if you remember, 3 plus whatever this number was has to add up to 9. That means this would have to be 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. And you also remember that 3 plus whatever this number is would have to be 12. And that would be 9, because 3 plus 9 is 12. Now, if you add up all of these numbers, it should add up to 24. And that is correct. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9 does add up to 24. All right, number 5 is done. All right, here's number 6. Coach Callender offered to buy hot dogs for the players on his team. Of the 44 players, 28 wanted ketchup, 20 wanted mustard, 14 wanted relish, 10 wanted ketchup and mustard, 11 wanted ketchup and relish, 8 wanted mustard and relish, and 6 wanted all 3 condiments. So we need 3 circles, 1 circle representing ketchup, 1 representing mustard, and 1 representing relish. All right, in problems like these, you always want to try what goes in the middle. That is, what is in the intersection of all 3 circles? Well, how many people wanted all 3 condiments? Right here, it says 6. 6 wanted all 3. So right here, we have 6. And this is the intersection of all 3 circles. Next, we look at how many wanted ketchup and mustard. So 10 wanted ketchup and mustard. But that includes the 6. So that means 10 minus 6 would leave you with 4. So that means 4 would go in this space. Now 11 wanted ketchup and relish. So that 11 would include the 6 that we already have. So 11 minus 6 leaves us with 5. So 5 would go in this space. All right, now it says 8 wanted mustard and relish, but that 8 includes the 6 that's already here. So that means that would leave us with 2 that would go in this section. Now we can look at the total who want ketchup. That's 28. So that means 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus whatever goes here has to add up to 28. And that leaves us with 13. So 13, 4, 6, and 5 add up to 28. Now the total who want mustard is 20. That would be 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus whatever goes here would have to add up to 20. And that would leave us with 8. So 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 8 adds up to 20. The total who like relish is 14. That means 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus whatever goes here has to add up to 14. The remaining balance of that is 1. So 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 adds up to 14. And now the question is, how many people are outside of all 3 circles? Well, there are 44 players altogether. If you add up 13 and 4 and 6 and 5 and 2 and 8 and 1, it actually adds up to 39. And since there are 44 players altogether, we have to make up the difference. And that difference is 5. So there are 5 people who are outside the circles. And what does that mean? It means that there were 5 people who did not want either one of the condiments. All right, number 6 is done.